Changes. Man, we have had so many changes this year, and part of rolling with all of these changes is to find that silver lining, even when that is a very difficult thing to do. And that was the lesson I had to share this week with my students, and I'd love to share with you about some of the activities that we did. But first, why did we even have to do this? Well, because our entire class has changed again. I started the school year as a third grade remote teacher, as my whole entire district was actually remote. But then when kids were going back to hybrid, some families wanted to stay remote, and so my class changed pretty drastically. Now that schools are pretty much reopening fully, my entire class has changed again, but not just because more of my students are going back in person, but because I suddenly need to teach another grade level. Yeah, I actually have to change grades. And I know I'm not the only one who has had to do something like this year. This teacher taught ELA for 14 years, but this year had to add math into the mix. And this music teacher has been a 5th grade homeroom teacher and a 6th grade French teacher this year. Room changes, teaching from a cart, switching schools, overturning your entire class. This year has no boundaries, and my message from late summer 2020 still rings true. You gotta be flexible and patient and just roll with it. And you have to understand what you can and can't control and just let go of the things that you can't control and focus on the things that you can. So I had to break the news to my students this week that I wasn't going to keep any of them. And I'm not gonna lie, there were some tears and upset kids, and it just really got me right here. We have spent so much time building an amazing community. It's actually surprised me how nice and close we have gotten, even through a screen. And you know what I attribute that to? Yeah, SEAL. All the work we've done with social, emotional, artistic learning has really made a difference. And so how did we deal with these big emotions about these big changes? With some SEAL journal work. Now, here's what we did. First, we worked on a little self-awareness. I had to allow my students to just let it out. All their emotions. And I have to say that even the kids that I thought maybe weren't having these big feelings actually surprised me. Confused, scared about going back, worried that they won't have a friend in their new classroom, frowny faces and sad word art, and angry just to lose their teacher and their entire class that they've grown so close to. It was a lot. So much so that I knew we couldn't end there. If I just left them in those feelings, we were not going to get very far for the rest of the day. So after we all shared, I had the kids put a title on another page in their SEAL journal with the word questions, and told them to write down any questions or thoughts that came to mind so that we could talk about them later on in our closing meeting. See, that's what I love about SEAL. It's creative, it's arts integrated, and it's also steeped in whatever social emotional needs the kids actually have. A simple journal entry, some word art, or a poem, they all are part of how kids can work through their emotions. Can I just take a moment to share what one student wrote about changes? Life is like the wind. You never know what unexpected changes might occur. But changes are opportunities. Why would changes happen if they weren't meant to happen? No matter what, there's always a little good in changes. You just have to look closer. The next day in class, after letting all those big emotions settle a little bit, we took some time and talked about silver linings, thinking about what good possibilities could come of all these changes. It was a great way to address some self-management skills and even some responsible decision-making. We talked a little bit about how to make the best out of situations. And again, everyone had something to say, even if they didn't share it. We teachers are dealing with so many changes this year, and so are our kids. And taking the time to share this with each other was time well spent. Sure, we could have pressed on with the academics, and we did, but not until we took the time to actually process through all the emotions that were happening from these big changes. And you know what? It really helped. My students are now excited about the new possibilities, and we were able to end our time together on a really good note. So I encourage you to do the same. Talk with your students about the changes that you're going through and invite them to share them with you. And share your stories with me in the comments. What changes have you gone through this year? I bet there have been a few. And how have you helped your students throughout the year with the need to be so flexible and patient with themselves and each other? I can't wait to hear from you. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and definitely hit the subscribe as well, because I'm going to be sharing more stories, activities, and ideas in arts integration and SEAL. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.